There are over 900 million dogs on Earth today. They sleep in our beds, detect hidden explosives, and herd sheep. Yet no human tribe ever sat around a fire and decided to invent them. To understand how they actually got here, you have to rewind 20,000 to 40,000 years to the Ice Age. Humans lived as hunter-gatherers in small bands, highly vulnerable to starvation and constantly surrounded by predators. Out in that darkness were packs of wolves. They had terrifying endurance, massive jaws, and eyes built to see what we couldn't at night. Out of all the animals humans encountered, the one that ultimately became our closest companion was the exact same apex predator that actively hunted us. We didn't domesticate them through a grand master plan. The process was a complete accident, and the wolves started it entirely on their own. Humans are inherently messy eaters. We left behind discarded bones, skins, and scraps, which effectively turn our early camps into massive, moving piles of free calories for any scavenger willing to get close. When wolf populations approached these camps, they fractured. The highly aggressive wolves were speared by humans. The deeply fearful wolves stayed away and starved. But a few individuals with a genetic quirk, a natural curiosity, and lower aggression crept closer. Instead of risking injury hunting dangerous prey themselves, they could simply follow humans and eat leftovers near camp. Over time, evolution slowly filtered wolves based on personality. The friendlier wolves got more food. The calmer wolves stayed closer to camp. The hyper-aggressive wolves died. What started as scavenging quickly turned into a mutual benefit. Wolves can hear and smell approaching threats from miles away. By hanging around the fire, these proto-dogs inadvertently provided humans with a living alarm system and a highly sensitive tracking aid. This trade of table scraps for security created a biological feedback loop, keeping both species alive long before anyone had the idea to plant a single seed of wheat. The biological mechanism driving this is called domestication syndrome, a process where breeding for a friendly personality automatically triggers visible physical mutations. We know exactly how this works because scientists watched it happen in real time during a 1959 experiment. A geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev gathered a group of wild foxes in Siberia. For decades, he bred them with one strict rule: only the tamest, least aggressive foxes could reproduce. He never taught them tricks or trained them in any way. Within a few generations, a behavioral shift was obvious. The foxes wagged their tails, whined for attention, and licked hands exactly like pets. But their bodies also mutated. Their ears became floppy, their snouts shortened, and their fur developed patchy white spots. This tells us what happened outside those Ice Age camps. Early wolves began looking softer, smaller, and far less intimidating centuries before humans ever thought to capture or breed them. The adaptations continued. As humans settled down to invent agriculture, the digestive systems of these early dogs evolved to process starchy grains, keeping them perfectly synced with our diets. Physical appearance is chemically tied to aggression levels. By simply choosing to sit near a fire and eat leftovers, wolves accidentally rewrote their own physical blueprint. That physical evolution eventually seeped into our psychology. The survival partnership began to alter the actual emotional chemistry of both species. This loop represents a shared chemical hack. When a human and a dog make eye contact, both brains release oxytocin, the exact same hormone that drives the deep emotional bond between human parents and their newborn infants. Dogs even evolved specific facial expressions, like the classic puppy dog eyes, simply because those features successfully hijacked human empathy. If a dog looked expressive, humans were more likely to feed and care for it. But that ancient natural partnership gave way to intentional human interference, and the costs have been severe. We began breeding dogs strictly for aesthetics, leading to animals with severely compromised respiratory systems and chronic spinal problems. The genetic manipulation has become so extreme that certain bulldog breeds have pelvises too narrow to even give birth naturally. Yet, beneath the warped anatomy of a pug or a chihuahua, the ancient instincts of the Ice Age predator are intact. Whenever a dog circles the living room carpet to flatten imaginary grass or twitches in its sleep, it's channeling the exact behaviors of its wild ancestors. Archaeological evidence shows that this partnership eventually moved from simple utility to genuine attachment. In Germany, researchers uncovered a 14,000-year-old grave containing a man, a woman, and a dog buried carefully beside them. Bone analysis revealed that the dog had survived a debilitating illness as a puppy, but managed to live for months afterward. This means humans, living in one of the harshest frozen environments on Earth, sacrificed their own precious food, energy, and time to nurse an animal that was physically unable to help them hunt or guard. This partnership was forged over scraps beside a fire, turning a cautious predator into a lifelong companion. Tonight, your best friend will likely fall asleep beside you, unaware of the tens of thousands of years of evolution that put them there.